Hi everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California, and you know what I did? I wandered down into Gary's garden because I wanted to show you something in my garden compared to his. I want to show you his Malabar spinach. Here is his Malabar spinach. It is going all the way up. And what's amazing is look at the leaves. The leaves are beautiful, and he's got gorgeous, gorgeous berries on it. Look how beautiful the berries are. Now, let's walk over here. Come with me. We are getting somewhere with this. Now look at this Malabar spinach. Look how gorgeous it is. All the way up again, all the way to the top. Oh my gosh, I don't know, 10 feet. And then it's going all the way across as well. Can you see that? Look at that. Now his Malabar spinach is looking really good. He's also in a different microclimate than I am. He's got a covered situation, and it may be warmer down here. I'm not sure, but here's another Malabar spinach. Let's walk over here real quick. Sun is starting to go down. Look at this. Also full of berries, which I want to collect that because that is fantastic seeds. And look at that. It's so green. Now, I don't know how long it's going to be that way because we're going through a big change right now in the weather. We're going to be not quite freezing, but probably around 40 degrees. We could go down to freezing, they're not sure. Malabar spinach doesn't like the cold. Now, if you grow it in your area, in your yard, once these seeds drop, they will hold for the winter and they will come back in the soil as soon as spring comes. I'm going to collect it so I can spread it around where I want. But let's go take a look at my Malabar spinach, because I will tell you something. My Malabar spinach doesn't look like his, but it also is growing in a different climate compared to Gary's. So let's go take a look on my deck garden and see what's happening with my Malabar spinach. Now, I found my hat. Now we're back on my deck garden. And here is my Malabar spinach, as you can see. Let me turn a little different because the sun is going down. I don't know what the weather's going to be like tomorrow, so I figured I better do it now. My Malabar spinach has almost no leaves. Has a few seeds left, which I've been collecting the seeds. Here's the other one. It went into 2 stems. The whole thing, it's got no leaves. Now what's going on here, as you can see, I've got the canyon setting behind me. So it's probably much cooler here on the deck than it is in Gary's garden. One of Gary's Malabar spinaches, that's a little wren if you hear him. He's chirp, 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 chirp. Little wren. One of Gary's Malabar spinach plants are up against the wall, and a block wall will give it heat. That one may last a little longer. The other one is growing up the rebar, and being that it's sheltered, it's probably still warm. Let me move around a little bit this way. But mine are out in the element, just going straight up in the air, so they're getting the cold draft. They are, on the bottom in pots, and on the bottom, it's still doing pretty good, and it's still flowering on the bottom. But with this cold snap we're getting this week, and it's going to be close to freezing, maybe not quite, mine will probably die off right away. Now, of course, the ones I'm planting and they're going in my 2 system in the house, these are really good, and they're already growing the double leaves. They're already getting into a more mature plant. They're going to do really good. So we'll have Malabar spinach in the house, but I'm pretty sure that mine are going. And I'm going to kind of miss them because Malabar spinach, I haven't talked that much about, has been a fantastic plant to grow. Now keep in mind, if you can get some seeds, try to get them growing for the winter in the house because you can grow Malabar spinach as a house plant, I heard. And I've been growing those that you saw in there. They've been growing for a little while now, and they're growing really good, and we've been picking the leaves and eating them. I planted more, and I plan on getting a whole lot more in the house. As far as growing it outside, if you're in cool weather and pretty much anywhere, it really does prefer warm weather. So now that it's going to be dropping down into the 40s at night, the leaves will fall off. It's not going to flower that much anymore. And eventually, I'm pretty sure the vine will die away. Now with the seeds, that is very interesting. Let's walk over and see the berries real quick. These berries I have talked about, now these are starting to dry, so you can't do the same with them as when they're still like this. They are very juicy looking and they're plump. When you squeeze these, let me grab one off. I've showed you this. Look at my hands. Can you see my hands? They have a really strong red dye to them. It doesn't matter, I'll eat it. I don't want to eat the seed. Oh, I dropped it in a plant now, and now it's going to grow. They are really, really deep red. And in some countries I heard that they actually use it like an ink. Well, you know what I did this, about a month ago, I guess, 2 months ago now. I used it for cooking. I went ahead and I grabbed a bunch of the nice big red ones that are not dry. You can't use them when they're dried. And I put them in a plate and I mashed them down until I got all the juice out of them. When the juice was in the plate, all the juice out of the berry, I then put it in a strainer and I took all that red juice. I put it in white powdered sugar frosting that I made. I made the frosting, and sometimes you add a little water or butter or shortening, whatever you're going to add to your frosting. I added the Malabar Spinach red juice. Now why? It has no flavor. What I just tasted and got on my hand, no flavor whatsoever. So it's not going to alter anything that you're making. You could add it to mashed potatoes if you want to have a bright pink mashed potato. The cake was phenomenal. I made the cake for the party. It was my brother's anniversary and my sister-in-law, so I made them a cake. It was gluten-free too. Made a chocolate cake with pink frosting. It was wonderful. It tasted so good, and it doesn't alter. It's like you could use blueberries and you could use cranberries and other berries to use it as a dye, but the problem is those particular fruits have a flavor, so it could alter the flavor a little bit. When it comes to Malabar spinach behind me, no flavor. So you can add it to anything and you will never know. All you're going to get is the color out of it, and you'll get some nutrients too because it's very nutritious. So I made the frosting. They all thought I added red food coloring, which I did not. It was beautiful, and it just gives you a thought. You could add it to your water if you want to give it a nice pink tone to it. I would not add it to hummingbird nectar, please. I know there's people that are going to go, whoa, a light bulb's going to go off. I'm going to add that to my hummingbird nectar. No. And the reason I'm going to have to say please don't is because it does have vitamins in it and minerals in it, which is perfectly fine for us. But I don't know if the added vitamins is good for hummingbirds. That's why I'm going to say no. I know people add in red dye, and I always say don't add in red dye. There's no vitamins, nutrients, or anything in there. It's synthetic dye. But with this, because there's added vitamins and nutrients, I don't know if it's good for hummingbirds, so do not add that into the water. But for you, you could make lemonade, and if you want to give it a good pink coloring to it, squeeze some of the juice, the berries, and then you can add that to lemonade. You can add it to frosting. You could take a white cake. If you're baking a white cake, you could add a little bit of the juice in there. You can make pink biscuits. Anything you want to dye and give it a pink reddish color to it, go ahead and add some Malabar spinach, but not the spinach, the plump berries. Now, as far as the berries, if you want to use it for the winter, I would say grab a bunch and freeze them. You could either freeze them in plastic bags, and then you can mix it back with water, maybe put it in a blender with a little water, and then put it through a strainer so you don't use the seed. There's a hard seed in there. From what I understand, the seed is perfectly fine to eat, but then I don't eat pomegranate seeds. So I would say just strain it out. You could grab a bunch of seeds and put them in an ice cube container and fill it with water, freeze it that way, and it will preserve a lot of things very good that way, like I do tea that way, if you wanted to preserve it for the winter until you get more seeds later on, and you won't get them till summer. But I thought that was a fun note to just say if you wanted to kind of dye something, pink mashed potatoes. Enhance the color on something that's already pink or red. You could do it in Malabar spinach seeds. But it was a lot of fun. They enjoyed the cake, and I thought I'd share that. So I'm going to stash some for the winter. Who knows? I might want to add it to make some pink milk. I don't know, because I love the idea that it does not alter flavor in any way. It doesn't change the flavor. It doesn't alter the flavor. It is simply a food coloring that is completely natural, but it does have a little bit of vitamins and nutrients in it. So I thought I'd share that with you. And yes, my Malabar spinach is losing all its leaves because here is a microclimate that's just a little too cold for it. So it's already starting to go through the loss of its leaves. So I think with that, I have said enough. We've got my purple colored here. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that beautiful? So I wanted to share that with you, and hopefully we won't get too cold, but if we do, well, we'll take what Mother Nature gives us. Have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow, even if it's red Malabar spinach seeds. Bye-bye.